Before the world wakes up, before the noise of notifications and obligations begins to speak into your mind, there is a short and powerful moment that decides far more than most people realize. It is the moment when your eyes first open in the morning. In that moment, your brain is not yet caught in yesterday's worries or today's expectations. Your nervous system is open, impressionable, and listening. Your body is quietly asking one question: what kind of day will this be? Most people never answer that question consciously. They reach for their phone. They scroll, they react, and without knowing it, they allow external chaos to set the emotional tone of their entire day. Stress hormones rise before breakfast. The mind becomes alert, but not aware, awake, but not present. This pattern repeats day after day until life begins to feel heavy for reasons that are difficult to explain. The Buddha noticed this long before modern psychology existed. He observed that suffering does not begin in dramatic moments. It begins quietly, in small unconscious habits. And one of the most powerful habits shaping a human life, he taught, is how the day begins. Not what you do for work, not how hard you push yourself, but how you meet the first breath of the morning. Thousands of years later, neuroscience confirms something remarkable. In the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking, the brain enters a highly suggestible state. Neural pathways are more flexible. Emotional centers like the amygdala are sensitive. Hormones such as cortisol, serotonin, and dopamine are being calibrated for the day ahead. This is the moment when the body decides whether it is safe or threatened, calm or rushed, balanced or reactive. The Buddhist morning ritual was designed for this exact window. Not as a religious practice, but as a way of aligning the mind and body before the world makes its demands. It is gentle, it is slow, and it is profoundly practical. When practiced consistently, it reshapes emotional responses, strengthens mental clarity, and improves physical well-being without effort or force. The Buddha taught that the mind is like water. In the early morning, it is still, clear, undisturbed. Whatever you place into it at that moment spreads through the entire day. If you place urgency, the day feels urgent. If you place fear, the body remains tense. But if you place awareness, calm, and intention, the mind carries that quality forward naturally. This ritual does not begin with movement. It begins with stillness. Before standing up, before speaking, before checking the world outside, the practitioner simply becomes aware of being awake, the feeling of the body resting, the sensation of breath moving in and out. This may sound insignificant, but neurologically, it sends a powerful signal. It tells the nervous system that there is no immediate danger, that it is safe to be present. When this awareness is practiced, even for a few moments, the parasympathetic nervous system activates. Heart rate steadies, blood pressure stabilizes, stress chemistry softens. The body begins the day from balance rather than defense. Over time, this simple act changes how the brain interprets life itself. The Buddha emphasized awareness of breath, not because breath is mystical, but because it is always happening now. Breath anchors attention in the present moment, where emotional regulation becomes possible. Modern studies show that conscious breathing in the morning improves vagal tone, which directly influences emotional resilience, immune function, and cardiovascular health. As awareness deepens, the ritual gently moves toward intention. Not goals, not achievements, but inner direction. The Buddha taught that intention shapes karma, not as fate, but as momentum. When the mind forms an intention rooted in clarity and kindness, the body follows with aligned action. In the morning ritual, intention is not spoken loudly. It is felt quietly, a simple inner recognition that today will be met with awareness, that reactions will be noticed, that emotions will be allowed without judgment. This subtle shift changes how the brain filters experience. Instead of reacting automatically, the mind creates space between stimulus and response. Psychology calls this emotional regulation. Buddhism calls it mindfulness. Both describe the same human capacity, the ability to feel without being overwhelmed, to experience without being controlled, to live with presence rather than pressure. As the ritual continues, attention naturally expands to the body. The Buddha taught that the body is not separate from the mind. Tension in the shoulders reflects tension in thought. Tightness in the jaw mirrors unspoken resistance. Morning awareness of the body allows these patterns to soften before they become chronic. From a health perspective, this is where the ritual becomes transformative. Chronic inflammation, digestive issues, fatigue, and anxiety are all linked to prolonged nervous system activation. When the morning begins with calm awareness, the body receives a different instruction. It is told to repair rather than defend, to restore rather than brace. This is why people who practice this ritual often report improved digestion, deeper sleep, and reduced emotional volatility without changing anything else in their lives. The shift is not in effort, but in alignment. The Buddha never taught morning rituals as something to master. He taught them as something to remember, a return to natural awareness before the mind becomes fragmented by thought. When practiced daily, this ritual becomes less like a task and more like a homecoming. As the practitioner rises from bed, the ritual continues in movement, but movement guided by awareness rather than urgency. Each action becomes part of the same quiet rhythm. The mind remains anchored. The body remains calm. The day begins not as a challenge to survive, but as an experience to meet. This is where the real transformation begins. Not in isolation from life, but within it. The Buddhist morning ritual does not remove difficulty. It changes how difficulty is experienced, and over time, this changes everything. In the next part, we will move deeper into how this ritual rewires emotional patterns, stabilizes mood, and gently dissolves anxiety through mechanisms modern neuroscience is only beginning to understand. The journey has already begun. You may already feel it. As the morning ritual settles into the body, something subtle but profound begins to happen beneath conscious awareness. The mind feels quieter, yet more alert. The body feels awake, yet unburdened. This is not imagination. It is biology responding to attention. The Buddha described this as the mind returning to its natural state. Modern science recognizes it as the nervous system shifting from survival into regulation. Most emotional suffering does not come from what happens in life. It comes from how the nervous system has been trained to interpret experience. When the brain expects threat, it reacts before thought arises. Muscles tighten, breath shortens, hormones flood the bloodstream. Over time, this becomes a personality, not because the person is flawed, but because the body has learned a pattern. The Buddhist morning ritual interrupts this pattern at its source. Early morning awareness engages the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for insight, emotional balance, and conscious choice. At the same time, it gently quiets the amygdala, the brain's alarm center. This balance allows emotions to arise without immediately becoming reactions. The Buddha taught that emotions are not enemies. They are messages, but when the mind is rushed, messages turn into commands. Anger becomes action, fear becomes avoidance, sadness becomes withdrawal. The morning ritual creates a pause, a space in which emotions can be felt without being obeyed. Neuroscience now shows that this pause strengthens neural pathways associated with self-regulation. Each time awareness notices emotion without judgment, the brain learns that feeling does not require action. Over weeks and months, emotional resilience increases. People report feeling less reactive, more grounded, and surprisingly more compassionate toward themselves and others. Compassion in Buddhist teaching is not sentiment, it is understanding. When the morning begins with gentle awareness, the mind becomes less harsh. Inner dialogue softens. The body responds by reducing internal resistance. Stress-related inflammation decreases. Immune response improves. Emotional balance begins to feel less like effort and more like a natural state. One of the most misunderstood aspects of Buddhist practice is stillness. Many assume stillness means doing nothing. In reality, stillness is active regulation. During the morning ritual, stillness allows the brain to integrate emotional memory. This is why old worries often surface in quiet moments. The mind is processing, not regressing. The Buddha encouraged meeting these moments without avoidance. When awareness stays present, emotional memory loses its charge. Psychology calls this emotional integration. Buddhism calls it liberation from suffering. Both describe the same process of healing through attention rather than suppression. As the ritual continues, awareness naturally extends to intention again, but now with deeper clarity. Intention at this stage is not about controlling the day, it is about orienting the heart. When the mind remembers that awareness is available throughout the day, stress loses its absolute authority. Modern behavioral science supports this. People who begin the day with mindful intention show improved decision-making under pressure. Their nervous systems recover faster from stress. They experience fewer emotional crashes. The brain learns that calm is not dependent on circumstances. The Buddha taught that suffering intensifies when we believe things must be different for peace to exist. The morning ritual gently dissolves this belief. Peace is experienced first and then carried into action. Life may still be demanding, but the inner posture changes. This inner posture directly affects physical health. Chronic stress is linked to digestive disorders, cardiovascular disease, hormonal imbalance, and sleep disruption. When the morning begins in regulation rather than reaction, the body's internal systems synchronize. Digestion improves, blood sugar stabilizes, energy becomes steadier instead of spiking and crashing. This is why the ritual emphasizes consistency over duration. Even a few minutes practiced daily reshapes baseline physiology. The Buddha never measured practice in time. He measured it in awareness. The quality of attention matters more than how long it is sustained. As the practitioner moves into the day, the ritual does not end. It becomes a lens through which experience is met. Walking, washing, eating, all carry the same gentle presence established at dawn. This continuity strengthens the mind-body connection throughout the day. In neuroscience, this is called state-dependent learning. When calm awareness is practiced in the morning, the brain accesses it more easily later. Emotional regulation becomes available during conflict, stress, or fatigue. The ritual becomes a resource rather than a routine. The Buddha taught that true freedom is not the absence of difficulty, but the absence of inner compulsion. When the nervous system is regulated, choice returns. One can respond rather than react, speak rather than lash out, pause rather than panic. As this capacity grows, something unexpected happens. Relationships begin to change. Communication softens, listening deepens. Others respond differently, not because they are different, but because presence invites presence. Emotional balance becomes contagious. This is not mystical. It is interpersonal neurobiology. Regulated nervous systems influence each other. Calm signals safety. Safety allows openness. The morning ritual, practiced privately, quietly reshapes public life. By the time the day fully unfolds, the practitioner may not consciously remember the ritual, but its effects are everywhere, in tone of voice, in patience, in resilience, in the ability to feel deeply without drowning. In the next part, we will explore how this Buddhist morning ritual strengthens physical health at a cellular level, influences longevity, and aligns the body's natural rhythms with the cycles of nature. Just as the Buddha observed under the Bodhi tree, the journey continues gently, naturally, without force. As the effects of the morning ritual settle into the emotional world, they begin to move even deeper into the body itself. This is where many people are surprised, because the Buddha never separated mental clarity from physical health. To him, the body was not something to control or discipline. It was something to listen to. And the morning, he taught, is when the body speaks most clearly. Modern medicine now confirms that the body operates on rhythms. Hormones rise and fall, cells repair themselves, organs coordinate their functions according to internal clocks known as circadian rhythms. When these rhythms are disrupted, illness slowly emerges. Fatigue becomes normal, digestion weakens, inflammation increases. The body survives, but it does not thrive. The Buddhist morning ritual works quietly because it aligns awareness with these natural rhythms instead of fighting them. Waking with presence rather than urgency allows cortisol, the hormone associated with alertness, to rise gradually instead of spiking. This single shift protects the immune system, stabilizes blood pressure, and prevents the energy crashes that so many people experience by mid-morning. The Buddha observed that life flourishes when it moves in harmony with nature rather than resistance to it. The body is nature. When the mind stops rushing the body begins to heal itself. This is not a belief. It is physiology responding to safety. Breath plays a central role here. In the morning ritual, breathing is not controlled, counted, or forced. It is simply noticed. This gentle awareness stimulates the vagus nerve, a critical pathway connecting the brain to the heart, lungs, and digestive system. When the vagus nerve is active, the body shifts into repair mode. Digestion improves, inflammation decreases, cellular regeneration increases. Scientific studies show that people with strong vagal tone live longer, recover faster from illness, and experience greater emotional stability. The Buddha described this same phenomenon as balance between effort and ease. When the breath is allowed to be natural, the body remembers how to regulate itself. As awareness remains with the body, subtle sensations begin to appear. Warmth, tingling, softening. These are signs of circulation improving and muscles releasing long-held tension. Chronic pain often begins to dissolve, not because it is fought, but because it is finally felt without resistance. The Buddha taught that the body holds memory. Stress, grief, fear, and anger are stored as tension when they are not fully experienced. Morning awareness allows these memories to surface gently when the mind is strong enough to hold them. Over time, the body releases what it no longer needs to protect. This release is deeply healing. People often report improved posture, deeper breathing, and greater physical ease after weeks of consistent morning practice. Even sleep improves because the nervous system learns a daily rhythm of regulation and rest. The ritual also influences metabolism. When the day begins calmly, insulin sensitivity improves. Blood sugar regulation stabilizes, cravings decrease. This is why many people naturally begin to eat more intuitively without trying to change their diet. The body's signals become clearer when the mind stops overwhelming them. The Buddha never gave dietary commandments. He taught awareness in eating. The morning ritual sets this tone. When awareness begins early, meals become moments of nourishment rather than distraction. Digestion improves not because of what is eaten, but because the body is present while eating. As the ritual continues day after day, something remarkable happens at the cellular level. Chronic stress shortens telomeres, the protective caps on DNA linked to aging and disease. Mindfulness practices have been shown to slow this process. The Buddha did not speak of telomeres, but he spoke of suffering aging the body prematurely. Awareness, he taught, preserves vitality. Vitality in Buddhism is not excitement, it is steady energy. The kind that does not burn out. When mornings begin with presence, energy becomes sustainable. The body no longer wastes resources on unnecessary tension. Life feels lighter, not because responsibilities disappear, but because resistance softens. This alignment with natural rhythm also affects the immune system. The body becomes more efficient at distinguishing between threat and safety. Autoimmune responses calm, inflammation reduces, healing accelerates. The morning ritual does not cure disease, but it creates conditions in which healing becomes possible. The Buddha emphasized that health is not guaranteed, but harmony increases the likelihood of well-being. When the mind and body cooperate, life unfolds with less friction. This cooperation begins in the first moments of the day. As awareness matures, the practitioner begins to notice how the body responds to thoughts. A stressful idea tightens the chest. A kind thought softens the shoulders. This insight transforms behavior. Choices are no longer made from habit alone, but from felt understanding. This is where wisdom enters the body. Wisdom is not knowledge stored in the brain, it is sensitivity to cause and effect within experience. The morning ritual trains this sensitivity gently, without effort. By now, the ritual has become less about practice and more about relationship. A relationship with the body, the breath, and the present moment. This relationship continues throughout the day, guiding action and rest with quiet intelligence. In the final part, we will explore how this Buddhist morning ritual transforms identity itself, dissolves inner conflict, and opens the door to lasting peace, clarity, and purpose. We will also bring this journey to a gentle close, inviting you to carry this wisdom forward. The path continues, just as the breath continues, moment by moment. As the morning ritual becomes woven into daily life, its deepest effect begins to reveal itself. This effect is not immediately visible. It does not announce itself with dramatic emotion or sudden enlightenment. Instead, it appears quietly, in the way the mind relates to experience. The Buddha taught that true transformation is subtle, because it happens at the level of identity rather than behavior. As the morning ritual becomes woven into daily life, its deepest effect begins to reveal itself. This effect is not immediately visible. It does not announce itself with dramatic emotion or sudden enlightenment. Instead, it appears quietly, in the way the mind relates to experience. The Buddha taught that true transformation is subtle, because it happens at the level of identity rather than behavior. Most human suffering arises from a mistaken sense of self. The belief that we are our thoughts, our emotions, our roles, or our past. The Buddhist morning ritual gently loosens this identification. By observing the body and breath each morning, the practitioner begins to see that thoughts arise and pass, emotions come and go, and sensations shift constantly. Awareness, however, remains. This realization is not philosophical, it is felt, and when it is felt repeatedly, something profound changes. The mind no longer clings as tightly to fear, regret, or expectation. Life is experienced more directly, without the constant filter of personal narrative. This is what the Buddha called freedom from suffering, not the absence of pain, but the absence of unnecessary struggle. Modern psychology describes a similar process. When people develop the capacity to observe thoughts rather than merge with them, emotional distress decreases. Anxiety loses its grip, depression softens, decision-making becomes clearer. The Buddhist morning ritual trains this capacity every day, gently and reliably. As identity loosens, compassion naturally deepens. Not as a moral obligation, but as an understanding that others are also responding from conditioned patterns. The practitioner becomes less reactive, less defensive, more open. Relationships change because the inner stance has changed. This inner shift also affects purpose. Many people search for meaning through achievement or recognition. The Buddha taught that meaning arises from alignment with reality. When mornings begin with awareness, life feels meaningful even in simplicity. Ordinary moments carry depth. Ordinary actions feel sufficient. The ritual does not make life perfect. Challenges still arise, loss still occurs, but the way these experiences are held changes completely. Instead of resistance, there is presence. Instead of panic, there is steadiness. Instead of despair, there is acceptance without collapse. The Buddha described this as living without clinging. Neuroscience describes it as emotional flexibility. Both point to the same freedom, the ability to adapt without losing oneself. Over time, the morning ritual becomes less something you do and more something you live. Awareness carries into speech, work, and rest. The mind becomes a companion rather than an adversary. The body becomes an ally rather than a burden. This is why the ritual has endured for thousands of years. not because it promises escape from life, but because it teaches how to meet life fully. Each morning becomes a quiet renewal, a reminder that peace is not found later, but now. If you listen closely, you may already sense this shift beginning. A subtle calm, a gentle clarity, a feeling of being more at home in yourself. This is not imagination, it is awareness remembering itself. The Buddha once said that no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. The morning ritual is simply the first step of that path, taken again and again until it becomes natural. You do not need to change who you are, you only need to meet who you are with awareness. The rest unfolds on its own. As this journey comes to a close, remember that transformation does not require intensity. It requires consistency. A few moments each morning, a willingness to pause, a readiness to listen. If this teaching resonated with you, if you felt something settle within as you listened, then this path is already open for you, and you do not have to walk it alone. For more wisdom that blends Buddhist insight, modern science, emotional healing, and inner transformation, subscribe to Divine and Spiritual 0369. Let this space become part of your morning, your evening, and your life. Until then, breathe gently, live attentively, and remember that peace begins the moment you stop rushing toward it.